Gyepi day, my citizen citizens. Gyepi morning, Gyepi evening, Gyepi afternoon, Gyepi night, whatever Gyepi may be working the best for you. This fox did wake up not so long ago, and she's in a good mood, not less the hot weather once again over here. And goodness, it's way too hot, even in the morning it seems today. Hot water and everything is goody. We're going to continue the visual novel from yesterday, the one with the witch. Seems like we might have unlocked something new. I wonder if we'll get to know more details regarding the witch itself. So, let's proceed with the game. Dun, 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 dun. I hope you've been all doing well, Cinnamons. Wishing you a good beginning of the day, and if it's not the beginning, still to have a Gyepi day today. Let's move on to the game. Wonder if you'll manage to complete it. I do have many game demos to showcase. Actually, show to you. Oh, we did have the saving file, right? Oh, I can't believe my eyes. Emma, our girlfriend, is standing right there. Kissed on hips, an irritated look on her face. Look full of life. You're in trouble, man. Then is this close to bursting out laughing, delighted with this teenage movie quid pro quo. Morning, Gyepi. Hi, Sime. Hi. How are you doing? That donut I ate for the breakfast recharged me a lot. Don't worry, Emma. Working. Is another con upcoming? Yeah, maybe you actually told me already, yeah. One in July, right? I'm starting to doubt myself whether we'll manage to go to that Comic-Con on the beach next month. But still, matters the most, actually. I want to go to the beach this year. I don't know, it's just too hot. Can't wait to step into the water and pretend to be able to swim. It's not like this fox cannot swim or anything. I got the kids' accessories for that, so I can swim. Actually, Evelyn is the name of the Siamese cat that Gyepi adopted last week, when he returned from a lecture on the benefits of air conditioning for African penguins stranded in what? Emma's dark look dissuades him from finishing his sentence. Too much detail, I realized that in the middle of Emma's large eyes narrowed to two black slits. Then shrugs, obviously used to that kind of look of disdain from girls. I tried, bro, you're in deep. I just saw down and swooped down on Emma with the speed of a raptor. Raptor! Raptor boyfriend! Here it comes again. Goodness. My arms wrap around her and lift her off the ground. What are you? I don't care about her betrayal, about the fact that she lied to me, that she cheated on me. After the horror of her death, after being a cowardly and helpless witness to her agony. Emma is alive. I begin to cry my ass out without losing my embrace. Emma, I'm so sorry. Like, I wonder if nonetheless this loop, we're going to lose everyone once again or not. We. Emma's face turns bright red. Gyepi, put me down. We're not alone. Who cares? Forgive me. Gyepi, please, people are looking. I end up lowering her back down on the ground to dance hissing. Get our own kids! Emma, still crimson, lightly slaps my chest. Don't do that, in front of everyone. Unfazed by Dan's non-stop taunting, I take Emma by the hand to lead her away a bit. I have to tell her that I know the truth. Emma follows me without resistance. Gyepi, what are you? Undaunted, I lead Emma toward the trees to give us some privacy. Then continues his taunting from a distance. He's such an idiot. A hero too. Emma. I hold her by the shoulders as if to convince myself that she's really alive. Emma, meanwhile, is still looking at me with a worried look on her face. Gyepi, what's wrong with you? Is everything okay? I look down for a moment. Doesn't seem to remember anything either, like then. Emma, you don't remember Evelyn? Gaze grows suspicious. Her again! Who is this girl? I sigh in annoyance. Why doesn't anyone remember anything? Why is it only me? Answer me and don't give me the adopted cat crap. I know you're allergic. I look at her with a half amused, half deprived look. It's better to put Evelyn aside for the moment. Bring up the other subject. Don't tell me she's another girl from the swim team who's been hitting on you. No doubt about it, Emma has no memory of recent events. Judging by her angry red face, she's more alive than ever. I found out that you're Emma. I interrupt her abruptly. No time to beat around the bush. I want to hear it from her. I want to hear her to admit to me. She cheated on me. Wonder if maybe during this loop we have to make the sinners confess their sins so they want to get killed? Waiting here, first option. I know everything. What are you talking about? The expression of astonishment Emma displays seems sincere. She definitely doesn't expect me to know. Emma, I know about you and... A veil of panic quickly passes over her face. She's beginning to understand. Orator, she's very afraid to understand. Stop talking cryptic messages, Gyepi. What do you know? Her annoyed tone betrays the panic that is beginning to overwhelm her. Forgive me, Emma, I realize this will be a painful discussion for you, but I need to hear it from you. I can pretend not to know. Emma lets out a small, nervous laugh in response. Please stop, you're scaring me. You know very well what I mean. So if you have any feelings for me, you owe me the truth. I remain silent and wait for her answer, bows in her court. I remains reticent, probably torn by panic, shame, the vain hope of getting me to confess what I know to avoid having to reveal all her cards. Gyepi, I guess your mind's locked on hers. It's all up to her now. My shell finally cracks, her lips begin to tremble. After a few seconds of futile resistance, she bursts into tears. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Forgive me, I still make no sound. The floodgates are open, it's up to her to convince me. It was last year, we had been dating for a few months, and we just had a fight about Anna. I remember it well. Our first real couple's quarrel, she suspected I was cheating on her with Anna. Yes, she did, and like yesterday they stated it was due to her losing her cat and the guy getting her drunk. The guy actually was the boyfriend of Jessica and she broke up with him, but did not tell us the truth about Emma and we did not know that. Like, she cheated on us. Seems to be the biggest reason for getting killed back then. One of the many pretty girls on the swim team, the infamous swim team. Yeah, sounds like a really bad time for her. I feel a twinge of guilt. It's true that I was hanging out with Anna quite a bit at the time, even though here the reason seems to be a different one, unless the cat is involved as well. Nothing ever happened between us, but I knew Emma hated that closeness. I was thrilled with the fact that I was somewhat popular with the attention I was getting. A pretty girl as a girlfriend and another one flirting with me. It was very gratifying. That's in advance. Probably selfish on my part, but very gratifying. You refused to cut ties with her, and I really thought you were cheating on me. Many subs punctuate her speech, and I feel my resolve shift ever so slightly. Am I really responsible for her deceiving me? Was it me who pushed her into the arms of the other trash? She's the one who cheated on me, right? She's the one who did it. David kept trying to convince me. I kept refusing his advances, but when you went to the movies with Anna and left me all alone at the party, so it wasn't about the cat. That was an excuse our friends gave us? Painful memories come back to me. I did refuse to cancel that date with Anna, and I let my own girlfriend go to the party alone, even though I had promised that we would go together. That's awful, my guy. Shouldn't ditch your girlfriend for some friend. I was proud of my move at the time. I didn't see the problem as long as nothing was going on between me and Anna. I was even amused by Emma's anger, by the power I had over her emotions. At what point did I stop feeling any pride in this behavior? At what point did I really consider Emma my top priority? This change probably happened gradually over time, when I began to care more about Emma's happiness than my own. I look away in shame, feeling like it's been so long ago when it was just last year. Not gonna lie, I'm so tempted to eat Baba's donuts, but I won't do that because Baba is a precious cat. I said nothing. Or maybe I confessed my sin so that I won't get killed by the witch. I wonder, I realize how much our relationship has matured in just 1 year. I realize how selfish I was too at first. Always here with us. David kept trying. He promised me that he had broken up with Jessica, that with me it would be so different. I had been drinking and I was so mad at you. We did at that party. And when Jessica walked in on us, I never felt so disgusted with myself, what I had done. Of what I had done to you. My fist instinctively clenched. She's trying to make me believe it's because of me. Am I the cause of this? The hell with this, she's the one who cheated on me, she's the one to blame. I didn't do anything with Anna. I knew how to hold back. She's the one who deserves to suffer. She who deserves to... die? Die. Like Evelyn's parody of justice. Am I proving her right? I opened my mouth as if to spit all my venom at Emma's tear-streaked face. Make her feel all my hatred for what she had done. For what she is. What she represents. But strangely, nothing comes. Emma takes my hand still in tears. Gyepi, you have to believe me, I regret it more than anything. If I could go back in time, that's the only thing I would want to change. I'm so sorry. Her pleading look painfully revives the memory of her death. When she stared at me with those same huge eyes, filled with sadness and tears. When she thought only of my survival, even though she knew she was doomed. Until then, she wanted to protect me. Would I have been able to do the same? Everything we've built together since, it's so wonderful. I made the worst mistake of my life. Forgive me, for heaven's sake, I can't imagine my life without you. My voice becomes cavernous, filled with grief and anger. What we built was a lie, because of her and because... Looking for the main culprit makes no sense, there's no point. Because I love Emma. I try with all my might to hate her, but when I saw her alive this morning, I felt the greatest relief of my life. Because of you, Emma. Because of you. Because she cheated on me, because I put my personal happiness before ours, because everyone makes mistakes. Tries to move forward carrying their cross. Because we've come so far in the last year. Because I have. Shot constricts from the tears that flooded into my eyes. Why did you do this to me? Emma rushes to me and kisses me with the force of desperation. I'm overwhelmed with emotion, unable to untangle the conflicting feelings that overwhelm me. Do I hate Emma? Do I love her? Are these two feelings really mutually exclusive? The only thing I know for sure is how soft Emma's lips feel now pressed against mine. Her face remains streaked with tears. Her distress feels like a dagger in my chest. I don't know what to think, or how I'm supposed to react. Many will probably refuse to forgive her for sleeping with someone else. And usually I will be the first to stand behind the decision. But these people didn't see Emma die before their eyes. They didn't see her worrying about my survival until she died. They did not see her cry. Emma, I don't want you to cry. Emma remains silent, her head against my chest. I don't want to lose you. She shyly lifts her head toward me. I definitely don't want to lose you, but I would understand if you decided to. I shake my head in denial. Everyone makes mistakes, me first. Back then I didn't treat you the way you deserve it, I was selfish and I wasn't thinking about us. I try unsuccessfully to suppress the tremors in my voice. Back then it feels like a lifetime ago. The only truth that matters today. That I love you. Gyepi, I love you so much. Since my mistake, you've been my only priority. You're all I've been thinking about. All I'm thinking about since then is us. That's why I feel so guilty. Not only did I betray you, but I mostly jeopardized what we've built together since then. I don't know how much credence I can give to her promises, but I've made my decision. From now on, I'm going to protect her at all costs. You and I, we've come so far since we started our relationship. And what we've built so far, I want to protect it, no matter what mistakes we've made in the past. First burst of tears floods Emma's cheeks. Maybe I don't deserve someone as wonderful as you. I know, Emma. But I'm here. We kiss again for a long time, in a more serene way. Love is stronger than anything, right? One thing is for sure. The fear of losing Emma is stronger than the resentment I feel. I can let the hatred of the past taint the happiness of the present. let alone the joys of the future. Our lips finally part. Emma, I'd like us to keep moving forward together, the renewed foundation. Stronger, more forthright, more mature. Cinnamon buns. I have to send a message to an artist. Okay, the fox is back. Multitasking is a awful thing, indeed. Literally speaking with a client and working right now. Oh, goodness. Are they willing to commission a big piece? Stronger, more forthright, more mature, but for that, no more lies. You have to promise me that. Must face beams. Must face beams with new hope. Gyepi, I promise what I did. I've been faithful to you ever since. The only one who matters to me. Her pleading look indicates her burning desire for reciprocity. I have never cheated on Emma. I thought about doing it just like everyone else, but I never did. Like everyone else. Because to me, she's too precious. I've never cheated on you, Emma. You're the only one for me. Gyepi, I betrayed your trust. That's the thing I regret most in my life. So if you want to go see another girl just once to balance things out, what the hell are you saying, Emma? Tears come to the corners of my eyes and a small amused smile appears on my lips. She just allow me to sleep with another girl? She's insane. You silly. I pressed her head against my chest. It's not White Album. You won't do that. What would I get from that? You're the only one I want in my arms. We remain entwined for a moment longer to seal our renewed promise. Despite the torrent of conflicting emotions roaring through me, my smile widens. Emma is in my arms, safe and sound. Gyepi, we're going to be late for class. Emma looks at me shyly, her usual smile on her lips. I finally loosen my embrace reluctantly. Yeah, you're right. Classes! Evelyn. Crap. My complexion turns pale and Emma gives me a worried look. Hey, are you okay? What's wrong? I grab her by the shoulders. This morning we have class with a new professor. Emma looks at me with a puzzled expression. Are you sure we have sociology as usual, no? My heart rate drops slightly. There's no new professor scheduled to teach us this morning. Are you sure? I haven't heard anything about this. No, maybe Dan will know more. I quickly turned back to Dan, deep in conversation with Jessica, who must have joined him while I was with Emma. I grab Emma by the hand and start walking toward Dan, but Emma stays still. I just have to do something quick. I'll catch up with you in the auditorium, okay? I stay with you. No way am I abandoning Emma when I've only just got her back. The red fills both her cheeks. I just have to go. I'll be back in 2 minutes, I promise. The toilet time? I look at her with a very serious look on my face. Emma, we absolutely need to stay together this morning. It's very important. I need to confirm Evelyn's non-existence, but most of all, I need to keep Emma safe. But I just have to... I'll be back in 2 minutes. I come with you then. Emma releases her hand with a half-angry, half-exasperated sigh. I have to do a girl thing in the bathroom. Oh, wait. Oh, she needs to... Yeah, maybe that indeed. Wonder if there's like a romance which. I wonder so as well. No idea so far. I barely understand what's going on now. Like, if this is reality or not. Stuff like that. I stammer a few words of apology. Ah, yes, sorry, let's meet in class to do the class. Emma places a final kiss on my lips in a little adorable laugh. See you in 5 minutes, save me a seat. Yeah, sure, yeah. Emma scurries off in the direction of the main building, giving me a little wave. This discussion has taken a much happier turn than expected. I really do the right thing by forgiving her to stay together. The answer is given to me by the despair that seizes me at the mere memory of Emma dying before my eyes. I must protect her from Evelyn who seems to have disappeared from everyone's mind. Except mine. Maybe only the survivors have retained their memories. I see Dan a few dozen meters away, still deeply involved in his discussion with Jessica. My theory is correct that maybe Jessica could remember something. I have no choice but to question her, but in a subtle way this time. I'm tired of sounding crazy to everyone else. As I approach, Jessica glares at me with her usual haughty look. Hi, Jessica. Hey. The tone is relatively cold, as it always is when it comes to Jessica, then turns back to me. Oh, you're finally done with Emma. I'm unable to suppress a semblance of a goofy smile. Yeah? Then stares at me with an unusually serious look on his face. So did you manage to last for more than... Jessica crushes her still partially lit cigarette butt on his temple. Oh my goodness. You're the most disgusting pig in the world. Don't be surprised when you die alone in a poopy little corner. It hurts so much. One more word and I'll put out my cigarette on your... Her look at Dan's crotch is explicit. Enough so that I feel compelled to intervene. You know, Dan, as long as she's still breathing, he'll say dumb things. You really want to take his side? Is this some kind of a... bro code? Speaking of code, you can always count on Dan, right? I feel like that word is overused. I want to read it. Right. Context. If you mean that he can be counted on to act like a disgusting pig, sure. She doesn't seem to be taking the bait. Damn it, screw subtlety. I've got to get this straight. Anyway, Dan is the reliable type. Evelyn knows it well. Jessica raises an eyebrow and turns to Dan. Evelyn, another completely desperate girl who ended up falling into your arms? I'm completely confused. Jessica doesn't remember either, then who would? Oh, maybe Wes it is? The one that betrayed us. Dan massages his temple and contemplates his cigarette ash-covered fingers. This crap is all over my skin. I was just kidding. Wait till you see what your Evelyn does to you when she finds out who you really are. Evelyn, isn't that Gyepi's new crush? Jessica turns to me again, puzzled. I must remind you that you've already in a committed relationship. You should be careful. Dan is a deplorable influence on the people around him. No doubt she doesn't remember anything. Damn, I jumped with a newcomer when a newcomer appears near me. Here, Dan, your coffee. So it is Wes now. I think he might remember something. Wes, this traitorous scum acting like nothing happened, while he's responsible for Dan's death. And he was collaborating with Evelyn, while he condoned all the murders committed during this nightmare. This filthy traitor. My eyes turn red. Able to control my anger, I grab him rudely by the throat. Woo! You filthy trash, you dare to come back and talk to Dan like nothing happened. His eyes narrow until they become two small slits of terror. Stop. Dan leaps at me and forces me to release my grip. What the hell, Gyepi? My gaze alternates between Wes, panting, and Dan. That trash, he's the reason why you... Dan, he's the worst kind of traitor, a murderous opportunist. Dan's expression wavered between disbelief and surprise. What? What did he do to me? He's a traitor. I heard these last words, Dan looks more and more puzzled. Wes betrayed me, don't tell me he called all my ex's boyfriends to beat me up. You wouldn't do that, right, Wes? Then I didn't do anything, this guy's a complete psycho. Wes stares at me with hatred. Pure, crystal clear hatred. I flinch slightly at such a murderous look. This guy could kill in cold blood, no doubt about it. And Evelyn, you betrayed us all like the worst crap. Wes in turn displays his disbelief. Evelyn? Damn, Gyepi, I don't know what's wrong with you this morning. Who the hell is this Evelyn? Wes' surprise is bluffy realistic. He actually does remember something, then his acting is very impressive, which wouldn't be so surprising from a traitor like him. Don't even try to confuse me with your fake surprised look. You've been hiding your cards all this time, you scumbag. Stop it, you're so weird today. He looks at me with a genuinely concerned look. What's up with you, man? With you and that Evelyn, you hire something? My anger eventually gives way to a certain desperation. Why am I the only one who remembers anything? I shudder as I think back to Evelyn's eyes. The screams of horror, the smell of blood, the death rattle. Everything is still so vivid in my head. Artist again.
Mamma mia!
Okay, back. We're back. I shudder as I think back to Evelyn's eyes. The screams of horror, the smell of blood, the death rattle. Everything is still so vivid in my head. Was it really just a dream? Am I going crazy? Breathless, I message my temples in hopes of waking up from this nightmare for good. I don't know, Dan. I feel like I had a nightmare. A terrible nightmare. By the way, the captain mentioned if he can allow it, he'll be purchasing me the thingy once he gets his payment for the throw object system, so I guess you're gonna be having fun pretty soon at bullying this fox. Yeah. By the way, I finished the visual novel Mamma Mia sound clip it's from the fan disc and you already got it on right, it's long sadly, can go over it. The first one is long or even the fan disc? How was the fan disc? Hope you enjoyed it. Both. Oh, I see. But are they like fun, good, interesting? There, I'm pretty fine with it. Though it will take quite a lot on but still. And this is a good one. Sounds goody then. Then takes me by the shoulder in comfort. Hey, it's okay, we all get a little crazy once in a while. I look up at Jessica, who is staring at me with an indescribable look. Because it actually gets some good outlook on the major tier point of the visual novel you see if you it. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Does she really not remember anything, or is she just lying to me? Am I the one being manipulated by the rest of the world? I shake my head and become like those paranoid conspiracy theorists who lock themselves in a persecution delusion. Maybe I have actually lost my mind after all. Or because of Evelyn. Evelyn is the key, her very existence is the key. If she doesn't exist, then none of this was real. I need to find Evelyn. Sorry, Dan, it's not very clear in my head. I think I need to rest for a while. You bet. Don't worry, let's catch up on sleep in the auditorium. You'll feel a lot better. Here, want some of my coffee? The auditorium. Yes. Evelyn. And did you hear about a new assistant professor, a very pretty girl? Then flashes a wide smile. He's finally coming to his senses. Look, I don't see how could I have missed such a crucial piece of information, but... don't tell me it's the redhead from the physics lab. Jessica lands a killer blow to the back of his skull. Wee. You can go more than 2 minutes without saying something gross, right? Jessica, have you heard anything about a new sociology professor? Is this your famous Evelyn? My heart leaps in my chest. How do you know? We've been repeating that name over and over for an hour. Like we're all supposed to know her. I don't hide my disappointment, alas its relief, and sigh heavily. I haven't heard anything about it. She's supposed to have betrayed Dan? With Wes? That's not it, goodness. If I tell them the story now, I'll almost certainly end up in some asylum by the end of the day. No, it's more complicated than that. No one seems to remember anything known among the students. Known among us. I have to ask the professor directly. You just forget what I said, okay? I'm just a little... frustrated. Deranged. Where's the professor's room again? First floor, next to the cafeteria. I'm coming with you, okay? I really need to see this girl who's turned the head of Emma's loyal knight. Let me just finish my smoke and... See you in class? Without waiting for an answer, I rush to the main building. I need to know. I ran through the corridors towards the professor's room. If I learned the slightest clue that could indicate the existence of Evelyn, then I absolutely must prevent people from going to class to avoid the coming massacre. Right, as if anyone would listen to me. People will just think I'm crazy, like this morning. I should be able to convince Emma, and probably Dan, if it's just about skipping class. And if Emma doesn't go, you can be sure the twins will follow suit. As for the others, lost in my thoughts, I bump into someone coming in the opposite direction. Crap, sorry. What? Gyepi, are you crazy? The professor! Sir! Why are you running like this and in the wrong direction at that? Do I need to remind you that we have class in exactly 5 minutes? Wait, the police was not called already. Exactly the person I needed. Sir, I tried to catch my breath. Damn, I quit smoking last year too. Did you hire a new assistant professor? The professor raises an inquisitive eyebrow. Why, do you wish to offer to assist me? Not to be offensive, but your academic level doesn't really destine you for a very intellectual career, if you don't mind me saying. Butthole. But you have recruited anyone recently? If you really care to know, then no, I'm still looking for a new assistant. Certainly not from your classmates. I only select bright people with several years of experience. I hate working with young graduates. They are so arrogant, as if they think they have already seen it all. It seems symptomatic of today's Yalf, if I may say so. Not sure he needs my permission to spout his wishes. In my days, experience was respected, seniority. It wasn't uncommon for the brightest professors to be begged by parents of students to marry their daughter, you see. Vtuber Evelyn is a student now. Oh my. I myself have been approached several times, and even recently, mind you. For you must understand that. I'm losing him. Apparently he hasn't found anyone for the assistant position yet. So that would mean that Evelyn isn't here. What about Evelyn? You don't have her? Evelyn? No, her name was Vanessa. Yes, Vanessa. That's right. But she was the one who was coming on to me. Rest assured. I would never have allowed myself to transgress the prevailing rules among the faculty, you see. Her parents begged me to. They wanted so much for their daughter to marry an academic. In my days, intellectuals were still respected, unlike your debauched generation who values appearance over... Okay, boomer, I have to go to the bathroom, sorry. I quickly walk away towards the stairs, leaving the teacher alone with her reminiscences of the good old days. Guess every generation eventually convinces itself that it was the best one. I shake my head to focus on Evelyn. No one, absolutely no one seems to know her, as if she doesn't actually exist. Does this mean we're really saved? Finally entered the auditorium. I can barely repress a shiver. The last time I was there, the walls were covered in blood, and the floor was littered with corpses. A certain nausea takes hold of me as at the evocation of these morbid memories, I contemplate the noisy room, only populated by carefree students ready to face a new day on insipid classes. No terror, no suffering, no death. Just cheerful laughter and snatches of distressingly banal discussion. Oh, also I wanted to mention an important off-topic detail. They were heading to get some breakfast. There was something that made me even happier, because my hammy seemed to have approached me once again. Because pets, the rodents, usually do you remember the patterns, the time frames when you give them snacks, for example, or even the sound of the package of salt, for example, when they hear that, they approach you, yeah? So she remembered once again, because at some point she forgot that I do have breakfast at a certain hour, so I gave her a snack. That little baby. Because actually the hammies do sleep during day. They're nighttime pets. So I was quite happy she approached me. Because of her personality, also mostly because she was always reluctant to approach us. Both scared but also annoyed at human contact, so good progress it is. That little baby. That little baby makes me so happy. Just cheerful laughter and snatches of distressingly banal discussion. I slowly make my way to the row where Emma is sitting. Not much further than where we were during my nightmare, but not quite the same. I cling to these little clues with an inordinate amount of hope. This morning is different from my nightmare. Similar, of course, like any school day, but different nonetheless. No one has heard of Evelyn. We are not quite sitting in the same place, the discussions seem different. Or not. You know. The only certainty is that I am the only one who remembers Evelyn. So that would mean she doesn't exist. It's the only rational explanation. Despite the terrifying realism of my nightmare, despite the pain I felt, it was only a figment of my imagination. The only alternative, not very reassuring, would be that I have gone completely crazy. Let's hope I'm still sane. Gyepi, here! Emma looks at me with a big smile. Behind her, Dan is completely slumped in his seat as usual. I sit down next to Emma, taking her hand. Hey, tonight, if it's okay with you, can I come over to your place? I look at her puzzled for a moment, then nod with a smile. Despite our discussion this morning, she still wants to... She's right, there's no need to torture ourselves about something we've agreed on. It's time to move on and do what we did before, get back to the simplicity of our exchange. And that includes getting back together like we used to. She leans toward me, lowering her voice. But I'm sorry we won't be able to do anything since I have... I laugh softly and press her hand against mine. I just want to have you near me. Welcome. The Hank. Dan's leaning so far toward us that he's almost flattened his stomach on his table. Dan! Emma's complexion turns peony red. Shut up, Dan. Private discussion rings a bell. Dan is hit on the corner of his skull by what seems to be Jessica's laptop. It's technically an attempted murder under Geneva Convention. Ah! Give me back my laptop. I hope for your sake it's not broken. That hurts so much. Yes, the life expectancy of a pig is quite limited indeed. I didn't say anything dirty, it's just that hilarious I live Dan and Jessica's care. He's looking for a relationship that lasts. He should indeed learn to keep his mouth shut. Emma gives me a knowing smile. If you had Dan stacked, you never would have spoken to me, I know. But other than that, he's a very nice guy. I burst out laughing. Dan is indeed a special guy. Nice but special. I catch a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of a double tornado of hair. Emma! Emma! Girls! Feel me now. It's like this every day. An uncomfortable shiver runs through me. It was like this during my nightmare too. Could be that the twins remember anything. Hi Chloe, Zoe. So I told him if you it's okay for him to right after, right? Definitely. What? She really Yes! No way! Yes! Zoe! The three of them paused and pivoted towards me dumbfounded. Do you know who's going to lecture us now? The regular professor, no? No doubt she doesn't remember anything. Yeah, thanks. Is Gyepi okay? He looks very pale. Only this morning too. Yeah, he's tired. Because of you? Where did you sleep last night? Stop it! I turned on my laptop in hopes of diverting my attention from the heated discussion between Emma and the twins. I breathed a sigh of relief. There are plenty of similarities with my nightmare, but there are also commonalities with my usual daily life. The everyday life of a normal student. The door to the hall suddenly opens. My eyes are riveted to the entrance. I can barely breathe. A familiar figure crosses the threshold, a slim figure with a stern look and grey hair. It's just the usual professor, nothing else. None in front of him, none behind him. He just enters the room, closes the door, and walks slowly toward the board. Please, class has started. Hubbub barely subsides. Without the presence of Evelyn, the students have no reason to interrupt. I'm close to crying with joy, no trace of Evelyn. Does this mean that I really escaped this nightmare? I turn my gaze to radiant Emma, still in deep discussion with the twins. I gently stroke her hair. She's alive. She's really alive. My lips stretched into a particularly goofy smile. If Emma is alive, then that means Evelyn doesn't exist. That means life is great. Next one who speaks, I'm pulling him out of class. Yo, shut up. Down 3 hours with him. I knew I shouldn't have gotten up this morning. Be careful, the next one who speaks. Get out! Who's the old for talking? That's the professor, you idiot. Oh my goodness. Doesn't he have black hair? 10 years ago, maybe. Wait, how long have you been in college exactly? A perfectly ordinary day, no doubt. It was a bit an odd of an exchange. Remember this concept, it could very well end up in your midterms. I sigh heavily and type a few random words on my keyboard that don't make much sense. I just can't focus, and no internet, that's really unlucky. I rest my chin in the palm of my hand and open the chat room again with an innocent look. As long as I pretend to focus on my laptop, Emma shouldn't mind. Lol, I found a horoscope on the internet. This thing looks like it was created 20 years ago or something. I can tell you your horoscope for 20 bucks if you want. Shut the hell up. Stop trolling. Got the link to this horoscope? Sharing the link. There's really nothing else on the internet? Games? Lol, what did you expect? Counter-Strike or something? What? Seriously, you can get CS on the internet? Give me the link. Need. Shut the hell up, but need. Fun party. A horoscope, great. I guess I really don't have anything else to do, and a miracle can always happen. They might actually find some old CS version hidden somewhere on the internet. Welcome to the mythical creator personality test. Wise as a phoenix, charismatic as a dragon, shy as a unicorn, clever as a troll. Shy as a unicorn, that was odd. What mythical creature are you? No way, this is a stupid psychological test. I would even have preferred an actual horoscope. Question 1. The one you love is single, but you see her laughing with her ex. Bury my face in my hands. What the hell am I doing? My disillusioned pull grows as I go through the answers. Hey, you cough and walk over to interrupt the discussion. You confront her ex after class to find out what their real intentions are. See, you don't mind because they are just talking, that's all. Let's go with A. Interrupting them. I said the answer and sigh. Who could have possibly created that crap? Choose you cough and walk over to interrupt the discussion. Smart move. Question 2. The one you love asks you out for dinner, but when you show up, you notice that other people are there. A. You feel betrayed, you were expecting some alone time. B. You get to meet her friends, which means you're getting more intimate. You openly flirt with someone else at the table to make your date jealous. Let's pick the B. Getting more intimate and get to know the friends. Carpe diem. Question 3. Your best friend tells you that she has feelings for the one you love. Too. Hey, you don't choose who you love, may the best win. You explain to your friend that your friendship probably won't survive this. So you cry, you scream, you curse fate, then you get a beer with your friend. Pick C. Beer. In Vino Veritas works with beer too. Question 4. You're finally in a romantic relationship with the one you love, but you end up finding out about her cheating on you. A. You tell her to go and die. B. You forgive everything because that's also what love is all about. C. You say nothing, but you decide to cheat on her too. An eye for an eye. Well, a somewhat interesting question. Rare humanum est, as they say. Question 5. You find out that your chosen one has actually been cheating on you with your best friend. A. You leave them to rot together since they belong with each other. B. You pretend you don't know anything. You are too committed to each other to break up now. C. You turn your affection to your pet to avoid committing murder. See? 괊ᴏᴇᴅ. And the one you love, he finally announced your divorce after years of suffering. A. You celebrate the event with a bottle of champagne, a bouquet of roses, and a knife. B. You expose her infidelity to your lawyer so that you can get full custody of the kids. C. You set fire to the apartment after giving him her sleeping pills. Second one. Is it just me, or the questions are getting weird? Seems like the questions are pushing us to be angry. The cheating thing is recalling what Emma did. Audacitor caluminare. Semper a liquid heret. Not an easy one, just Google it already. Your loved one, blames you for the death of one of your children. Hey, but you weren't the one driving. But you weren't the one spending the evening with your lover. See, but it wasn't even your kid. Driving. Ad hominem attacks, my favorites. Final question, you attend the funeral of your loved one. Why is it he? And her family insists that you give a little speech. You don't hide anything, neither the wounds, nor the betrayals, nor the scars. You praise her qualities, you never speak ill of the dead. You explain that the kids are not yours. What the hell? A. ᴄᴏᴍᴍᴜᴜ. I cannot read that. And I have no way to translate so far, so... Sorry about that, cinnamon buns, I just want to proceed with the game. Try to play mind games, yeah. Too bad you can copy-paste, right? Congratulations, you are a unicorn! Yay! I am a unicorn! A unicorn? You don't actually exist. Try to have a little more personality because this is really embarrassing even for you. Alright, stop slacking off and do some work. See you soon. That was weird. I was expecting something particularly cheesy and pointless, but some of the questions were surprisingly messed up. But the one chatting with us had like unicorn in the username and stated that unicorn doesn't exist. Was that the witch? As if the guy, not the gay, goodness, my tongue slipped. The guy who created Happy Pride Month, by the way, who created this thing didn't care about your actual result, not to mention his condescending remarks in Latin. What the hell was this? Well, it's so not a horoscope actually. The guy who did this was a complete psychopath. Thank you for the headbutt. And why would it have to be a guy? Oh yeah, I'm a dragon. Shut the hell up, you know. I know, don't bother. Shut the hell up. Go to hell. How can I get the dragon, please? Hydra for me. No matter how hard life can get, you always manage to bounce back. A sort of lesser version of the phoenix, basically. How can I get the dragon, please? Who else got the phoenix? Stop lying, bro. I did the test 15 times and phoenix doesn't exist. Jessica got it. Screenshot. How can I get the dragon, please? Shut up. You can't post a screenshot on this chat. I'm a cave troll. How can I get the dragon, please? How can I get the dragon, please? How can I get the dragon, please? How can... Emma Johnson exasperatedly looked towards me. Gyepi, take notes! Huh? But we're still at the introduction. It's been almost an hour since class started. I look up at the teacher who continues to spout the lecture in a monotone voice. Sorry, Emma, I was taking notes, but then sent me something important and... Are you kidding me? My smile immediately disappears. No, ma'am. If you don't take notes, then tonight, don't give it in to blackmail Gyepi. You won't get... With surprising speed, then raises his left arm to intercept a charger wire that Jessica wields like a whip. Haha, I knew you would try to hit me, so I anticipated that. Jessica just chunked the entire charger into his crotch, something he obviously hadn't anticipated. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I'm gonna take notes, I promise. I'll be checking at the end of class. I smile at the thought of this fake punishment. Emma loves to act like a teacher and places a quick kiss on her cheek. Okay, I get it. Emma takes my hand while remaining focused on her screen. I turn back to my screen with a sigh and open the document that has my meager notes with regret. Sociology was too underdeveloped. at the time to grasp the multiple cross interactions within a system as complex as. My brain is already frying. What exactly am I supposed to be taking notes about? Absolutely need to get Emma's notes at the end of class. Stay Gyepi. I turned to Emma, delighted to have an excuse not to listen to class. Do you still have any of my stuff at your place? And take notes. My guest swivels to the board and I start copying down words without even trying to figure out what they mean. That should be enough to reassure Emma. No, I have a toothbrush for you, yes, and for her to give me her notes. What about my skin creams? Just kidding me, I have a whole shelf full of hair down creams. Sure, I got plenty of them. Does that really mean anything holistic paradigm? Do you have my night cream too? That depends, which one is it? My sociology, I'm sure the professor is trolling us, no way such a word actually exists. One that says night cream, obviously. Obviously, I'm sure I've seen it somewhere, next to the other 12 creams you put on my shelf. Emma doesn't seem to pick up on the irony. And do you have any of the brightening scrub left? Ah! She's become a tad bit annoying with her stupid makeup products. I'm already having a hard time focusing on the class. Wait, ᴄᴏᴍᴍᴜ, seriously? It's not some kind of animal? Careful, I changed the brand. The old one was giving me red patches on my face. I freeze in my seat. Emma was... I turn my head toward Emma jerkily, like an automaton. This is impossible. Cinnamon buns, at this crucial moment I'm gonna take a little break so I can bring my fruit salad over here. Be right back. The fox is here, and the fruit salad is here as well. It's good. Oh, I made it myself. Of course, good. Okay. Oh, game. Back to the game. This is impossible. Are you looking at me like that? Oh my goodness. No. No. Yeah, are you okay? You look completely pale. I turn my eyes to Dan, let out a cry of horror. No! Gyepi, you okay? Man, you look like you're about to throw up. And then all the people who died during my nightmare. They're all... I'm this close to throwing up at Emma and Dan's decomposed faces. Please, it was just a nightmare, just a nightmare. Hey, what's wrong? You can't yell in class like that. Please do not. Breathless, I slowly turn my head towards the door of the room that just opened abruptly. Fear that takes hold of me, but my eyes struggle to analyze. She's here. The new outfit. Radiant, magnificent, terrible. She's now wearing a cascading long dress, like a witch costume. She advances slowly towards the stage, her usual bright smile on the lips. All eyes are fixed on Evelyn, who seems to revel in the general attention. Astonishment which seizes the whole class borders on the absolute silence. Only the rustle of her blue dress can be heard. It's as if the whole universe was holding its breath. She approaches the desk, Evelyn turns her gaze to me, gives me a twinkling wink. Is everything okay, Gyepi? You look like you're surprised to see me. I stifle another hole. Evelyn is back. She's real. Nightmare is real. Evelyn. Evelyn gives me a big condescending smile. Don't tell me you'd forgotten about me, that will be very vexing. Who are you? What are you doing here? Oh, is it because of my new dress? I thought you preferred this kind of clothes. Please get out of... Ah! Evelyn casually holds out a finger towards the professor, whose torso literally explodes of blood. Evelyn spins around as if her new victim doesn't exist. Look, a long witch dress, just like in the video games. It doesn't take long for the screams to erupt. Around me, most of the students rush up for the door, while the others dive under their elbows. It's like a nightmare. A nightmare that wasn't actual nightmare. Then slowly walks up the stairs towards my row, while a shapeless mass of students clumped against the door, but remains stubbornly closed. Open the door! It's jammed! Open the door, please! What the hell is happening? Open it, damn it! Get the heck out of there! Get out! My remain focuses on Evelyn as she approaches me, completely unperturbed by the screams echoing through. I'm so surprised. Did you really expect something else? I grows crueler and crueler. Ron was alive again. Emma. Oh, Gyepi, it's not my fault you refused to face reality. I feel a stream of warm liquid running down my right side. My eyes filled with tears. I turned to Emma, knowing full well what to expect. Emma lies on the ground in a pool of blood, motionless, dead. Why? Her extinguished gaze stares into the void. Emma, who was full of life just a moment ago. Emma, who is turned from me again. Oh, Gyepi, she's long dead. I close my eyes and collapse into my seat, ready to vomit what little my stomach holds. And no force somehow straightens me and reduces my nose as a result. I feel slight pressure on my right shoulder as if... We do know Gyepi. Why am I paralyzed by this fear with a deep primal terror mix setting? We're only Evelyn's pawns. We have always been. Presumed death, the dead are appearing all armed. It was all an act. It's another twist in her cruel game. Seems like there are still a lot of bad students left. With them. I know we could do a speed dating workshop. Seduction is one of the pillars of modern sociology, you know. It was so good. Stop, please. Where everyone writes down on a piece of paper the person they would like to see dead and we make a ranking. Evelyn, I beg you, stop this massacre. Tears rolled down my cheeks uninterruptedly. She's crazy. Completely crazy. Crazy and sadistic. All she seeks is pain, death, separation. You bastard, how did you kill the professor? Once the decomposed carcass appears before my eyes. He seems totally oblivious to his white appearance. Then run away. Even better, everyone writes down the person they love, the person they want to see dead. We'll pick the names out from a hat. Evelyn snaps her fingers and then collapses in on himself, in a pool of blood, as if his body had just remembered that he had died. What do you think? Wouldn't this be a good icebreaker for your classmates? Then no! We could do that for, say, 15 minutes before we resume the lecture. Time is flying by. Jessica, in disbelief, is bent over Dan's lifeless body. How? How? Evelyn, please, we have to stop this. Don't you think they're being loud? The screams redouble in intensity as all the previously dead students collapse in turn. It was as if I was the only one to see their rotting skin. The other students they look at alive. Open up, please! He's dead! He's dead! What did I do the last time again? Crap, the door! I start screaming at the top of my lungs to warn the crowd of the impending danger. Get away from the door! Alright. Evelyn snaps her fingers and the 4 students in direct contact with the door immediately turn into torches. The abominably familiar smell of burning flesh fills the entire room. The crowd near the door immediately disperses to the sound of screams of pure terror. Oh, I guess it's time to get back to class. Evelyn straightens up and effortlessly steps over Emma's half-decomposed body. I'm counting on you to participate, Gyepi. My heart slowly crumbling, I painfully manage to look at the situation around me. Wes, the twins, and a few others are sheltered under the tables while Jessica is still hunched over them. Evelyn snaps her fingers again, and the change in light tells me that the deadly thorns have once again invaded the large windows at the back of the auditorium. She quickly walks back down the stairs with a cheerful air and turns back to her audience. Listen to me, you have 10 seconds to return to your seat. If you don't obey, I will have to punish you. Stunned eyes turn to Evelyn. A particularly bold and stupid student rushes at her in a desperate rush. Ah! With her hand outstretched in front of her, Evelyn conjures up one of her famous spears that has just pinned the hapless student to the ground. His groans of agony are rapidly weakening. I said back to your seat. I take advantage of the very momentary silence and start yelling, "Back to your seats, everyone, quick!" I rush over to Jessica still kneeling beside Dan and grab her by the arm. Jessica, move, we'll die if we stay here. Jessica looks at me totally distraught, tears in her eyes. What the... Move! Jessica relents and I manage to drag her back to her original spot next to the seat Dan was sitting in. No matter what happens, don't move from your seat. Well, I'm afraid I have to start punishing. I jump over the table and settle as best as I can in my seat. Could you please tell me why you're not sitting down? Evelyn targets the only student, still standing with her piercing eyes. Everyone else has managed to sit down, or at least hide under a table. A magical dagger out of nowhere pierces his throat with a sinister sound. Condemned student hopelessly brings out his hands to his blood-drenched throat, then collapses to the floor with absolutely sickening gargles. I don't want to see anyone under the table, Satyr. Class is about to resume. I lean over to the twins, who look perfectly terrified. Sit down at your table or she'll kill you, hurry up! They reluctantly straighten up and I manage to sit down despite their compulsive shaking. Around me, I note with relief that everyone is following their lead. Alright, it's so much nicer to teach serious students. And don't forget to take notes. The best students will be rewarded. Evelyn's cruel smile leaves no doubt about what's coming next. There's going to be more blood. We're definitely and irrevocably doomed. I see that everyone is listening now. Who said to the SCF don't know how to behave? A heavy silence reigns over them. But the students are immersed in terrifying apprehension, their brains unable to make the connection between the series of totally inconceivable events that have just occurred, exactly like the first time. Surprise, denial, anguish. The triptych of terror. Undoubtedly, I'm the only one who remembers past events. The rest of the class, this is Evelyn's very first appearance. Bury my head in my arms and close my eyes. Let's make it stop. Please give me my back. Give me my life back. My simple, boring life, my little everyday life as an average student. Save me. Save us. Please, please, please. Please, 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 please. Everyone speaks again in a playful. Let me flee. Before we resume class. Evelyn sits down on the desk as if nothing had happened. As if the loop of her very first appearance had never stopped. Even though the students have no memory of that first loop, except me. As if she were teaching. For me. I need to ask you some questions to assess your current level. She prowls the room with her eyes, stopping here and there at the students who are nearly passing out. You in the back, you already tried to help me, so I'm going to ask you a very easy question. I turn to follow the trajectory of Evelyn's gaze. She's addressing Wes. He has no memory of the first loop. Only I know what Evelyn is referring to. His betrayal, his filthy betrayal. Evelyn wants to reward him by killing him. It doesn't make sense. Evelyn systematically kills the person she asks a question to. Or she granting him a privilege by interrogating him. Clearly Wes is not one of those who are supposed to survive, the famous model students, if they even exist. You had to kill someone in this room, who would you pick? What? This has nothing to do with the class. But how is this? This is nothing like the first loop. I want to leave. Evelyn wiggles her delicate finger in front of her. No, you're not answering the question. There's no point in trying to act smart. She wants blood. She will have blood. But if Wes decided to pick her, she submit to her own rules. No way, she probably killed the insane by accusing him of cheating. What a filthy trash. Gyepi! What? The word echoes around the room for a few moments. He just pointed at me. Me? I abruptly turned to Wes. You trash, what are you doing? I had to choose, it was either you or me. Traitor in the first loop, coward in the second. Either way, he wanted me dead. That filthy trash. Evelyn claps her hands happily. Gyepi, I see you didn't befriend everyone. He holds out a long slender finger in our direction, and two long daggers coming out of nowhere suddenly hit the table between us. Now, let's get this started. My stunned gaze alternates between Evelyn and Wes. Evelyn doesn't want to kill us herself anymore, she wants us to do it for her. Sadism taken to the extreme. Evelyn, go to hell, you! I catch a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of Wes scrambling for the daggers, but he only manages to pull one off the table. You piece of crap! I roar as I try to land a blow to his head that he manages to dodge. Off balance, I topple forward and nearly cut my right side with the edge of the blade still stuck in the table. Wes gazes at me with an evil look. Convinced of his easy victory, he raises his weapon high. Sorry, nothing personal. In a surprising survival reflex buried somewhere deep inside me, I manage to roll off the table just in time to dodge the blade, which comes down hard and hits the wooden desk with a thud. That bastard, he's really trying to kill me. I grab the handle of the dagger aimed at me and swing back with all my weight to dodge another deadly blow from Wes. I manage to pull the dagger off the table, but by doing so, throwing myself off my already precarious balance. I clumsily try to restore my center of gravity by staggering backwards, but I end up stumbling on one of the steps. The word slips away from me as my body rolls down the steps to the central stage. When the world finally comes to a stop around me, I suppress a stabbing nausea and try to catch my breath. It's a small miracle that I didn't break my neck in that fall. My senses in time to notice Wes running down the stairs, his dagger in his hand. A demented look has taken over his face. Ah! I awkwardly straighten up, and haphazardly raise my right hand, which still miraculously holding the dagger. To ward off Wes' coming blow. I was sure I had dropped it when I fell. Wes' blade ricochets off mine and skids across my forearm, leaving a long red gash. I drop one knee to the ground under the force of the impact. I won! I try to compress the pain without screaming, but it feels like my right arm has no strength left. Crap. With a rush of adrenaline, I throw my dagger towards Wes' face. To my surprise, the trajectory is perfect. The blade goes with surgical precision towards Wes' right eye. Instant death incoming. Shut up! I punctuate my renewed confidence with a bravado remark that I immediately regret. And surprisingly, as you move, Wes twists on himself and manages to avoid the deadly projectile. Panic overtakes me. I am completely unarmed and, as a result, helpless. An idiot. You're pathetic, Gyepi. Wes stands before me, a demented grin on his face. I turn my head towards Evelyn, in the vain and naive hope of finding some comfort. Her almond-shaped eyes ignore me completely and remain focused on Wes. With an enigmatic smile on her lips, she seems very amused by the situation. Everyone has always made fun of me. You first. Nobody cares about Wes. Wes, Dan's faithful minion, the one who crawls beside him in hopes of being exposed to the light for a moment. Look at him, he's pathetic. My brain is trying to think fast. I have to try to buy some time and get him to talk, since he seems very eager to get it off his chest. It must hurt so much to lose to someone like me, huh? If I can make him keep talking, maybe he'll let his guard down enough. You're the one looking up at me now, and I'm looking down at you. No idea what this means to me. My right arm is weakened by my injury, but all I would have to do is run into him. With all my weight. It should knock him to the ground. The trash now. Me. I'm on the winning side. My risk is that he doesn't drop his dagger in his hole. If he manages to stab me while I'm running at him, it's game over for me. I'm the winner and you're the loser. We're both stuck in hell. Either way, I'm screwed. Like you. Wes throws an unexpected kick at me. I raise my left arm at the last moment to keep the shell from absorbing the damage. I crash into the desk with a thud and let out a grunt of pain. Crap, I fall on my right arm. The long gash that stretches across my forearm triggers a wave of searing pain throughout my right side. Where's the justice in that, huh? You're going to die, and I'm going to die too, right? We're all doomed, right? That witch is going to kill us all, right? So what the heck do I care about winning against a piece of poop like you? I'm gonna die too. Another kick, this time in my stomach. I don't give a crap, you understand? I don't give a poop about winning if I'm going to die. Justice, revenge. I don't give a heck. I just want to survive. I curl up my body in anticipation for another blow. I just want to survive, but we're in hell here and no one comes back from hell. Wes throws a series of random kicks at me, more to vent his anger than to actually hurt me. I win, you lose, you die, I die. What's the difference? Tell me! My arms manage to absorb most of his blows, but the pain that runs through my body prevents me from considering any counterattack. Answer me, what difference does it make to me? The kicks finally stop. Breathing hard, I try to focus on my aching body. My right arm continues to hurt, but the wound doesn't bleed enough to be a real danger. As for the rest of my body, nothing seems to be broken. Really sore, but nothing broken. Right, Evelyn? What difference does it make after all? I catch a glimpse out of the corner of my eye of Evelyn, whose attention remains entirely on Wes. Her smile slowly widens, but she keeps complete silence. We're in hell after all, right? There's no way to escape from here. Evelyn gently runs her tongue over her lips, as if to better savor this surreal moment. And yet I have the dagger, I hold the power now. Wes stares at the dagger for a moment, then sets his crazy eyes on me. You think you have a chance of surviving, right? Then turns to Evelyn. You think I'm going to be your little puppet, right? But I'll slaughter Gyepi and then you can kill me. Evelyn lets out a little crystalline laugh, as if the remark were a pleasant joke at a cocktail party. You know, Gyepi, people say there's nowhere to run in hell, but I know. He crouches down next to me, his dagger screwed into his right hand. I know how to do it. I know how to get out of it. Wes plunges the dagger into his abdomen. The sudden shock takes my breath away, as a few drops of blood splash on my face. I know how. I know. Wes continues to stab himself over and over again. I know. A final stab gets the better of him. Wes collapses next to me, the blade still stuck in his gaping abdomen, which spills an impressive amount of blood on the floor. Evelyn bursts into laughter and claps with both hands. Wonderful! Bravo! What a finale! I painfully straighten up, holding my right arm. I am alive. Wes killed himself. He had everything to kill me. I was doomed. He's dead and I'm alive. I didn't expect anything from someone like Wes, but he really exceeded my wildest expectations. Evelyn walks up to me and whispers a few words in my ear. Congratulations, Gyepi, you're the winner. You can go back to your seat now. As if moved by an invisible force, my body begins to walk up the stairs with a slow, uneven step. Thoughts race through my jumbled mind, but one keeps popping up insistently. I'm alive. I'm still alive, thanks to Wes. Wes the traitor, Wes the coward. Then he still ran away, even if it meant sparing me. As I finally sit down on my seat, I have a violent choking. A taste of blood appears in my mouth. Wes saved me, his cowardice saved me. I'm alive, for now. Gyepi? I wipe away a small trickle of blood that runs down my lips and look up feverishly at a perfectly smiling Evelyn, as if the class had never stopped, as if the situation was the most natural thing in the world. Since you won, the next question is for you. My eyes bed with tears. Feeds on our distress and despair. Maintains the peaks of hope that animate us punctually. You better break them eventually. Don't worry, it's a very easy question. Easy like what you asked Wes. I believe you're a good friend of the two twins in front of you. They look very similar, but I'm sure they're very different from each other. Zoe and Chloe suddenly turn to me, their faces livid. They look so much alike. So which one do you like better? Without a nervous laugh. So that's her little game now. She asks us to designate the condemned ourselves, according to criteria established by her alone. Conclusion is the same. She kills the bad students by forcing other bad students to get their hands dirty. That probably means I'm a bad student, that I'm doomed. You have a little preference, right? Look how cute they are, looking at you with their big desperate eyes. Isn't it exhilarating wielding such power? I'd kill the one you like, yeah, I feel so as well. Gyepi, please, save Chloe! Pick her! Chloe. So the truth, they're perfectly identical. Eyes filled with tears, distress in their eyes, arched eyebrows, trembling lips. I'm as best friends, twin sisters who do absolutely everything together. To me, they are almost one and the same. Crap. Evelyn, no doubt she will kill me if I refuse to answer, alive for alive. Me or one of them. The last one, but she could kill all of them. Well, I can't take it anymore. I can't stand being a puppet in Evelyn's morbid game anymore. Maybe Wes was right. Maybe a chosen death is better after all. I suppressed a disillusioned smile. Someone has told me that I would one day agree with that filthy traitor Wes. If I'm going to die, I might as well go all in. To hell with you, Evelyn. I stamp both my fists on the table with all my might. A new wave of pain invades my right arm. I refuse to be part of your sadistic little game. To hell with you! Evelyn adopts a softly rumpled look and walks up the stairs in my direction. Well, there's no need to be vulgar. As she approaches me, a finger pointed in my direction, I feel an increasingly unbearable tension gradually descend upon my shoulders. Arriving at my level, Evelyn contemplates me with a knowing smile, supernatural tension that afflicts me, such that my chest ends up falling against the table. What the... Is it the pain that makes you so acerbic? She presses her index finger to open my wound. A strong wave of pain suddenly spreads throughout my body. Ah! The pain disappears as suddenly as it appeared. In front of me, Evelyn is licking her index finger covered in my blood. You have very sweet blood. Out of breath, I barely manage to sit upright in my seat. The disparity in force is indisputable. Indirect resistance against Evelyn is futile. Nowhere to lest I am still alive. Against all expectations, she spared me. Why did she spare me? Why me? Does she have special plans for me? Is that why I am the only one who has retained my memories? Or are we all just trapped in parallel dimensions? Is she torturing us all individually without us even being aware of each other's ordeal? Why is she doing all this? Why? First I am about to open my mouth to spew out my hatred. Evelyn gives me a wink and brings a finger to her mouth to incite me to silence. Searing pain, even more excruciating, fits every cell in my body. The pain is so great that I am unable to scream, only a drawn-out moan escapes my lips. The sensation of torture miraculously ebbs after a few seconds and leaves me slumped on the floor again, panting. Clearly she doesn't want to be interrupted. Chloe? Chloe looks like she's about to faint. Her wide eyes focus on Evelyn. Guess she's gonna force us to watch how she kills them. Who do you think Gyepi likes better, your sister or you? As Chloe's face looks like it's about to burst into tears, her features suddenly morph into a cruel caricature. Me! It's me who likes me best. Zoe stares at her sister with a completely stunned look. Chloe! Shut up, kill her, I'm the one Gyepi likes best! Zoe looks devastated, betrayed by her own sister. I try to open my mouth to protest, but the searing pain immediately reappears. Evelyn looks at me with a sneer, as if to mock my helplessness. You Miss Perfect, she spends her time taking everyone down to make herself feel superior. She's been doing it with me her whole life. That's why Gyepi likes me best. Kill her! Zoe bursts into tears. Wait, do you really mean what you just said? Shut up, you deserve everything that's happened to you. Your abortion was all your fault. So that was her. Zoe gasped in surprise. It was you? The rumor? A meritless law escapes Chloe's lips. You spend your time feeling sorry for yourself every time you do something stupid, but you're always the only one responsible for your own misfortune. This time you finally have something real to complain about. Evelyn's cruel smile widened. Well, if you say Gyepi likes you best in that case... Evelyn waves her right hand nonchalantly and Zoe suddenly collapses to the ground, struck full force by a new dagger out of nowhere. The violence of the impact throws a few sprays of blood all around her lifeless body. She probably died on the spot. Chloe bursts into a demented laugh. I stare at Chloe's manic face in disgust. I never would have imagined they seemed so close. How could Chloe do this to her own twin sister? I can barely see Zoe's dead body, but I don't dare lean forward to see her face. She died immediately after realizing her sister's betrayal. Last thing she felt, the deception, pain, the betrayal. Her last thoughts were tainted by her sister. Her own sister who confessed everything to her when she was sentenced to death. Worst betrayal. Worst death. I clench my fists and feel the tears running down my cheeks, soiled by sweat, dust and blood. Again I curse my own weakness, my inability to do anything. Our inability to do anything. Chloe, how could you do this? Chloe turns to me, her features still contorted with unhealthy joy. It was her or me, and she deserved it. You dare lecturing me you did the exact same thing with Wes. I don't remember you sacrificing yourself so he could survive. Actually, it's the opposite. You all adapt to a dead man. Wes was not my brother. Shut up, Gyepi. You don't know what it's like growing up in the shadow of your twin. To be nothing but a pale copy. A permanent disappointment to all the people who preferred your sister. Chloe's face becomes harsher, wilder. You don't know what it's like to have the people you love systematically call you by your sister's name, as if you didn't exist. Like they'd rather be with your sister than you. Chloe seems out of breath. The resentment built up over the years shows on her still incredibly pale face. So what, we all have our problems, and Zoe had her as... Shut up! You try to act all high and mighty when you know nothing about what I've been through. If you were so perfect, so pure, you would have sacrificed yourself to save Emma. I barely suppress a gagging fit. She dares to mention Emma. It has nothing to do with it. Don't. Then how come I'm talking to you, and not Emma, or Wes, or Dan? Huh? How do you explain that? You hypocritical piece of poop. I remain flabbergasted by Chloe's words. This is just completely unrelated. Even though I did fail to protect them. I was the only one who remembered, and yet I failed to change anything. I was satisfied with an illusory happiness, naive. I let my guard down and did nothing to save them. They were doomed the moment I let them set foot in this room again. We all have our problems, as you say, so deal with yours and keep your bullpup moral principles to yourself. Her silence is quickly broken by Evelyn's lilting voice. Well, Gyepi, looks like I don't need your answer anymore. You obviously prefer it, Zoe. What? What? Zoe looks at Evelyn with a startled expression. No, I won. She's the one who died. A long dagger pierces Chloe, identical to the one that killed Zoe, in the same spot, the same way, with the same sound. Chloe collapses to the ground in perfect symmetry to her. The two identical handles of the magic dagger stand proudly, deeply planted in the flesh of their victim, like a morbid reminder of Evelyn's omnipotence. Tortured sense of nausea spreads in my entrails. Why? Zoe? Evelyn, you had it all planned. Why did you kill Zoe when it was Chloe who was targeted? I tried to squeeze the blood that roars in my temples. It's Chloe who deserved. She deserved to die. Is it as simple as that? Evelyn's voice echoes in my skull, but her lips remain still. How does it feel to watch the people you know die around you totally helpless? An insidious feeling of unease washes over me. Its voice in my head is as if it's penetrating directly into every single neuron I possess. Evelyn gazes down at the two corpses with a satisfied look on her face as she gently strokes her collar, oblivious to my husky voice. Without a word, she walks back down the stairs towards the painting with a cheerful expression. Oh, I believe we can resume class now. I count on you to listen carefully and take note. There will be more questions later. The atmosphere of paralysis that I had gripped the room gradually dissipates. The few horrified cries that echo in the room are quickly muffled for fear of retaliation, and the unmistakable sound of computer keyboards resumes its ballet as Evelyn begins to write on the board. I think it's time for another fundamental sociology topic: revenge. Evelyn begins to recite her lecture without the slightest hesitation, just like in the previous loop, as if the previous loop had never been interrupted. The students are all deadly pale and try to ignore the dead bodies around them as they focus on their note-taking. My temples still aching, I turn my head to Emma's lifeless body and begin to cry softly. Oh, the death. Oh, the horror. It's not over. It's still not over. I remember, a while ago, Gyepi, wake up, your girlfriend's calling you. Huh? Over there, she's calling you, hurry up, she looks pissed. Emma glares at me as I slowly approach her. I've been calling you for 5 minutes. Sorry, Emma, I was focused on another girl, right? Come on, Emma. Oh no, Emma, you know you're the only one. Emma sighs heavily. Gyepi, I think you've been spending way too much time with Dan lately. What? That's not a girl talk. That's such a guy thing. Whenever you see a pretty girl, you immediately forget about your girlfriend and you... Jamie look appears in her face. Emma, you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Her voice slightly higher than usual betrays her excitement. Keeps looking behind my shoulder as if... What exactly are you looking at? I turn around and see nothing but Wes's slightly hunched body. Looking puzzled, I pivot back to Emma. I don't get it, it's only... Hi, Wes! What? Emma's face turns crimson. He just acknowledged my existence. What the hell? Are you kidding me? It's just Wes. Shut up, this is the best day of my life. Are you having a stroke? If you are having a stroke, I know exactly who I would like to comfort me. Good morning, love. Insanity continues. Jessica's slender body jostles me and rushes to Wes to grace him with a languid kiss. What? You're late. I'm so sorry, I was trying to buy your favorite food for you, but they were out of stock. Wes shrugs absently. Don't worry, babe, it's not the first time you've disappointed me. My love, please forgive me. Jessica is close to bursting in tears. Emma, have we been transported to a parallel dimension? Wes is dating Jessica? Shut up, he's stalking! I only forgive pretty girls, but I'll make an exception and forgive you anyway. Jessica covers Wes' pale face with kisses. Oh, thank you, darling, thank you 1,000 times. Who summoned the witch? What are you looking at, you? Bow your head. Wes stares at me darkly. Just as I'm about to give him a good old punch in his stupid face, I notice Emma and Jessica glaring at me. Apologize, Gyepi. Right now. I widen my eyes. Are you kidding me? Minion, get rid of that filth. Then appears right behind me and grabs me roughly by the shoulders. The master has spoken. Then what the hell are you doing? The master demands an apology. I run my head to Wes, who is holding a long knife in his hand. Apologize? Yes, we do like apologies. I'm going to die at the hands of an omnipotent worshipped Wes. Is there a worse death than that? Probably yes, but it still doesn't make sense. It's obvious. It's perfectly absurd. None of this is true. Of course it is not. What's being popular, right? Doesn't exist. Like unicorns. Wake up, Gyepi. Hey, Gyepi! I hear a barely audible mumble. I open my tear-reddened eyes and see that Evelyn is still writing on the board. Is reciting her lecture in a very animated voice. Please stop crying, we need to talk. I slowly turn toward the whispering that is becoming more insistent right behind me. Gyepi, get a hold of yourself. Jessica stares at me, her beautiful amber eyes, her face hard. Leave me alone. Jessica sighs slightly, and her features soften. Look, you don't have to feel guilty. The question was a false pretext, your answer would have changed absolutely nothing. I reply in a hoarse breath. That's not true, I'm sure I could have. I should have. Stop beating yourself up. You couldn't have changed anything that witch, she did exactly what she intended to do, she just wanted to kill. She wanted to give you the illusion of a choice to better traumatize you. But the conclusion was written all along. I stared at Jessica blankly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter after all. Students die one by one. That's the only reality that matters. And we are next on the list. Like animals at the slaughterhouse, we wait patiently for our turn, immersed in an implacable collective anguish. Jessica shakes my shoulder. Gyepi, focus! We need to find a way out of here. It feels like we had the same discussion forever ago. Look the first loop. You seem to know more than anyone. You already knew how Evelyn was this morning, as if you knew she was a witch. A few tears blur my vision slightly. I knew her, and yet I couldn't do anything to protect Emma, or Dan, or anyone. Now everyone is trapped again. Jessica stares at me inquisitively. You already knew? You knew her? I look at Jessica with a totally helpless look. Helpless. I couldn't do anything. Jessica's gaze softens as she places her hand on my shoulder. Gyepi, please, you have to tell me everything you know. The key to getting out of here alive. With my throat in knots, I take Jessica's hand and squeeze it with all my might. I don't even know where to begin, but I need to share my burden with someone. It only took me a few minutes to tell Jessica the first loop. The repetition, the discordant signals, the return of Evelyn, the return of the horror. Jessica listened patiently without interruption, raising a surprised eyebrow here and there. I thought I would have a hard time relating the events without bursting into tears, but after I started the story, the words just came pouring out. Naturally, as if I had been waiting forever to finally get it off my chest. I'm not gonna lie, your story sounds completely insane, but it's not like we're in a very normal situation. Maybe Wes is right, maybe we're just in hell and this is our punishment. Yeah, let's put aside the purgatory delusions for now. The only certainty is that we're trapped with a witch who's capable of killing anyone, anytime. From what you've told me, we already managed to kill her once by taking her by surprise. Jessica shakes her head. You have no idea how disturbing it is to have no memory of the actions you yourself are supposed to have performed. I smile weakly. Yeah, you're really unlucky not to remember the slaughter of half of the class. Jessica sighs. Sorry, that's not what I mean. Her eyes swivel to Evelyn, still busy writing on the board. In any case, I find your theory quite coherent. Targets the bad students. The only problem is that we don't know if there really are any good students. In other words, we don't know if there will actually be any survivors left in the end. And I don't intend to wait to find out. I look at her with a stunned face. How can you say that Emma is dead, and Dan, and even Zoe? Jessica puts her hands in front of her in a placating gesture. Wait, try to look at it from the witch's point of view. According to her complete morals. Emma cheated on you, so she was punished. Then tried to kill her, so he disrupted the class, as did those who tried to run away or refused to return to their seats. As for Zoe, I think Evelyn was targeting both twins, Zoe because she spent her time taking her sister down. That's what Chloe said to save her skin. She's the only one who betrayed her sister. I know, deserved to die. Again, try to think like the witch. She wanted to kill Chloe too because she's the one who started the rumor. What rumor? Jessica plunges her cat-like eyes deep into mine, and I'm unable to suppress a slight shiver. It doesn't surprise me that Emma never told you about it considering how close she was to Zoe. See Emma's dead body over there? I refuse to turn my head to gaze at another corpse, but not nonetheless. What, one of the victims from the first loop? The one who had been accused of having... You told me that after he died, everyone was talking about the rumor about him. That he had pressured one of his one-night stands into having an abortion. Don't tell me that. That girl was Zoe. Apparently he completely freaked out when he found out she was pregnant, and he put incredible pressure on her to abort the baby. He was actually planning to keep the child, but apparently he threatened to ruin her life if she did that. He probably would have refused to acknowledge his paternity, and therefore his duties to the kid. I look at Jessica with a look of both awe and puzzlement. Jessica, how do you know all this? I'm trying to piece together bits and pieces of information. It's all rumors, nothing is certain. But given how oddly specific Evelyn's questions to Matt was, there's probably some truth to it. What is certain is that Zoe ended up having an abortion. Given Chloe's reaction before she died, she knew about it. And I can't imagine Emma not being aware as well. Zoe had an abortion. Well, I'm not sure Emma would have told me spontaneously, maybe one day, but Zoe absolutely wanted to keep it a secret, which is easy to understand. Ditto for Matt, who was known for his one-night stands, but the information leaked and the rumors spread widely. No one knew for sure who the girl was, but Zoe was among the potential candidates. I was well aware that Zoe had slept with Matt at the party. Everybody knew. It was widely rumored a bright girl like Zoe would have flirted like Matt. Everyone talked about it, but she even got pregnant. Zoe tried to find the person responsible for the rumor, someone who wanted to harm her. As you can guess, I was one of the first suspects. But it didn't last long. Zoe found another scapegoat more satisfactory than me. Or at least easier to bully. Indeed, I don't see who would dare to oppose Jessica head-on. But actually, it was Chloe who was behind it. She just wanted to smear her sister. Out of revenge. Out of cowardice. Never mind the reasons, Evelyn doesn't seem to care about such details. I end up nodding slowly. Evelyn only cares about seeing us die. Still doesn't make any sense. Even if Emma had an unsavory past, why would she die so quickly? How do you explain the fact that she's dead, while others are still alive? People like me, you mean? Wait, that's not what I said. But you obviously meant it. Look, believe it or not, but I don't think I've done anything particularly punishable by Evelyn's standards. I'm not perfect by any means, and that's also why most girls hate me, but... They hate you because they're jealous of you. Jessica smiles weakly. It's a nice thing to say, Gyepi. Most girls like to drag me through the mud, but I guarantee you I've never stolen anyone's boyfriend or cheated on anyone, for that matter. To tell you the truth, I've actually always been the one to get. Jessica pauses, her cheeks suddenly rosy. Anyway, all that to say, I'm probably doomed, but I'm not that surprised that I'm still alive. Now. The problem is what you told me about Evelyn's change in method. From the first loop, it seems to want to give the students some semblance of choice in order to take the level of sadness up a notch. With no concern for collateral damage. I mean, look at Wes, she let him choose who to fight to the death with. And it fell on you. Still, she didn't really want you dead, not right away, at least. And you're still alive, while twins are both dead. If she had wanted to target you and Wes, she would have found an excuse to have you both killed at the end of the duel, no matter what. New migraine washed over me. Why does everything have to be so complicated? As you figured it out, I'm not exactly on good terms with the other girls, far from it. So if Evelyn decides to ask a girl to pick someone, let's say my time is fast approaching. Yeah, if your theory is correct, then yeah, I guess. Assuming her theory isn't correct, there's no clear evidence that my theory is correct. It's very possible that Evelyn actually targets her victim randomly, depending on her mood at the moment. Maybe they're no good students, maybe we're all doomed. I shake my head in resignation. It's a certainty we are doomed. You, me, the others, everyone. Will be indeed. But all the more reason to try something. Jessica, I had this discussion with you before and then during the first loop. It cost us Dan's life, and what did we get in return? Evelyn didn't die. The day started over and then... My voice begins to tremble slightly. Dan is dead for good. Nothing. Jessica is silent for a moment. You understand how hard it must have been for you to go through all that the first time. But you really need to get it through your head that this is the first time for me. Jessica places her hand on my uninjured arm. I said before, we're doomed. We might as well try something to get out of this, even if the chances are slim. You can just sit back and wait for Evelyn to come and kill us. off one by one, you know that. Then would have said the exact same thing. Did say the exact same thing, and you're forgetting a crucial asset you didn't have in the first loop. Sense? Experience. We call it common sense. Think about it. Thanks to your memories, we know you harmed her. You've already done it. You're sacrificing Dan. Maybe, but that means she's still vulnerable. If that were really the case, I wouldn't be stuck here in a second loop. So you could rest in your cozy little bed while we're all dying in this loop? Damn it, Jessica, you know exactly what I mean. Jessica gives me a little wink. Where does she get the recklessness to do something like that in a situation? The most important memory is the medallion thing. Give her a slightly dizzy look. What's your favorite medallion? Jessica smacks the back of my head exactly as she would have done with Anne. Evelyn's medallion, you idiot. You told me it kept glowing even after she was dead. A few concerned looks turn away at Jessica's abrupt exclamation. I glance in panic in the direction of the board. Evelyn continues to write on a completely word-filled board, pausing here and there to explain a technical term. Her voice down. She seems upset, but leans forward a little more toward me. We're talking about Evelyn's medallion. The medallion. Striking medallion that seems to have a will of its own, which always glows with an unhealthy blue glow. Right, her medallion, you said it still seemed to be full of energy when she was stabbed. But insidious blue energy she uses every time she casts a spell, correct? Yeah, but you don't really think it would be that easy, do you? But all you'd have to do is to break the medallion in order to take away her powers. Jessica glances sideways at Evelyn, still resetting the course with a beaming look on her face. Just looking at her, it's impossible to imagine that she has just slaughtered half of the class. That sounds a bit too simple indeed. Did you notice that she always touches her medallion right after she uses her magic? Try to remember her every move. Cruel smile after each kill, her sadistic laughter, her evanescent movements, her hand on her medallion. I remember clearly her hand, caressing her medallion in her left hand. When she used to cast the majority of her spells, or all of her spells, did she ever use her right hand? I press my fist into my temples as if to calm the turmoil that is during them. The more I try to concentrate, the more my memories escape me. Did she always touch her medallion? Is it as simple as that? Maybe it's not so strange after all, wizards always use a magic catalyst, don't they? Whether it's a staff, a grimoire, or a familiar. I jiggle nervously. Jessica, we're just trying to translate fictional stories into reality. We're trying to fit squares into circles, to convince ourselves. Jessica smiles at me. I didn't know about your insightful side, another side of you I didn't know about. Stop it, I'm gonna blush. You already are. You really think this is the time to be thinking about this? A small crystalline laugh that I didn't know she had escapes from her thinly. You're right, sorry. I agree with you that this theory seems a bit too forced. That being said, it was your theory about the consistency of the murders, and yet it happened to be true. That's your opinion. The fact is that he is far from absurd, and that so far it still hasn't been explicitly proven. Back to the medallion theory, again, it's not that totally absurd. Seeing her like I have, she keeps touching her medallion. I don't know what your first look looked like, but in this one she didn't stop touching it, after every use of her magic. I paid even more attention to it because it was the thing that immediately stood out to me when I first saw Evelyn. This medallion, it's like you said, it glows with an unhealthy glow, unnerving. I can't deny that at last point. That blue glow, I feel like I could be as forever if I immersed myself in it. I like that it's both fascinating and dangerous. I'm drawn to it like a moth to a lamp. You will eventually burn it out. You really think that this could be the source of her power, that breaking it will be enough to get rid of Evelyn for good? Jessica closes her eyes for a moment and turns her head towards Evelyn. I don't know, what I am convinced of is that physically killing her won't be enough. You have to try something more. And thanks to your experience with the first loop, I feel like we're onto something. Regarding that little something more you were missing the first time. I don't know if it's the right lead, but it's the one that makes the most sense. The clues we were able to get her. Jessica squeezes my hand while fixing Evelyn with a hate-filled stare. Certain, however, is that we're running out of time. If we do nothing, our death will be certain, and I refuse to die like everyone else, torn between surprise and helplessness. I'm even more impressed with Jessica's strength of mind than I was in the first loop. I always thought she was a very confident girl, but to show such determination when facing immediate death is totally different. I hold her hand in mine, nodding. And with you, Jessica, I have very strong doubts about your theory, but I'll follow you. If we are going to be condemned, we might as well die with our heads held high. Jessica smiles softly at me. Her features soften completely. Thank you, Gyepi, we can do this. Together. Galvanized by this renewed hope, I managed to calm the rush of blood to my temples. Oh, not that we agree on the theory. How do we put it into practice? You have no choice but to physically kill her before we destroy her medallion. Doing the opposite will be far too risky. Jessica nods. Right, and the other problem is that we can't use the same rules we did during the first loop. Evelyn too retained her memories of the first loop very logically. Don't fall into the same trap twice, even without that west field. Warn her. We don't even have a weapon on hand. I pause as I notice a glow near her knees. A metallic glow with a strange bluish sheen. While you were fighting with Wes, I picked up one of the daggers that was used to kill the twin. Just in case. A brilliant insight, I must say, even if it was at the cost of my life. Are you sure Evelyn didn't? She was totally absorbed in your duel, you can believe me. So was the rest of the class. Except you. Don't try to guilt me with that maudlin tone. An opportunity is good to step the next move. Like me, she knows how to keep your head cool under any circumstance. Although I thought I would have liked a little more empathy. I was this close to dying out there. I'm cruel, don't you, because I didn't sacrifice myself unnecessarily to come to your rescue? You know very well that Evelyn would have struck me down on the spot if I had come within 10 meters of you. Jessica quickly embraces my shoulder. You know I care about you, I just tried to do the best I could. What little room I had. I promised you that I would have mourned your death, just like I did for Dan. I read real pain in her eyes. She and Dan have never dated, but they clearly had a bond more powerful than mere friendship, almost like brother and sister. Jessica, I miss Dan too a lot. Do our best to avenge him. Avenge him by taking down that witch. Jessica nods slowly, her eyes fixed on Evelyn. For that, we absolutely have to come up with something that will really surprise her. She gives me a long hard look. I don't know why, but she seems to have a special place for you. You're the only one who could keep your memories. You're the only one who came out of your interactions with Evelyn alive, at least for now. That's exactly what I told myself during the first loop. Except that Evelyn didn't lift a finger when I was about to be killed by Wes. He was the one who saved me by killing himself, not Evelyn. She was ready to see me die, just like the others. I think she's going to obey me nicely if I ask her to give up her medallion. No, of course not, but she does give you some pretty special privileges anyway. You insulted her on several occasions, and without any retaliation from her, I really think she treats you different. You can indulge in things you're not allowed to. What? And no, you can be more familiar with her. I shake my head gently. Fair enough. Look, I'll try to ask her out on a date, but if she chops my head off in the process, promise me you'll try to take a piece of my body back to my mom, okay? Jessica smacks my skull again. This is becoming a habit. Oh! Stop making noise, we'll get spotted by Evelyn. You're the one... Jessica throws another blow at me, more powerful than the last one. Sorry. Gyepi, try to think of something that would surprise her. Something only you could do. I take care of finding an opening to stab her. There's no shortage of weapons around us. In the meantime, you can show your sarcasm up your... booty. Jessica pauses as she notices that there's silence in the room. I slowly turn the board while knowing full well the vision that awaits me. Evelyn, beautiful in a long dress, the usual falsely warm smile on her face. All eyes on us. So, I think it's high time we got back to some questions. Crap. The pretty girl in the back, Jessica, right? Jessica flinched slightly. You'll have no plan. Evelyn slowly walks up the stairs in her direction with her regal steps, a toothy grin on her lips. You know she's going to kill again. She's looking forward to it. Rose smile, sadistic, magnificent. Reaching her level just behind me, she leans slightly toward Jessica. Those in the back always tend to chat during class. Her mind's better. Brain is probably racing with an alternative plan. Not at all, even. Crap, Jessica's going to die. I have to try something. But what? Scream? Hit her in the face? Throw my laptop at her? Anything to surprise her, something only I can do. Only me and Evelyn. I jump to my feet. Evelyn! Evelyn turns to me, a slightly surprised look on her face. Hey, you have to wait your turn. I'm already questioning your... Without hesitation, I wrap both my arms around Evelyn and pull her close to me. I'm completely crazy. What was I thinking? Gyepi, what are you? Against all odds, the mortal blow I was expecting never comes. Evelyn remains as if paralyzed by my gesture. Blushing. Evelyn, I'm sorry. Evelyn weakly tightens both her arms against me. What the hell is this? She's supposed to kill me, right? So why am I seeing so much sadness in her eyes? It's unimaginable behavior. Makes absolutely no sense. Jessica appears right behind Evelyn. Dagger brandished in the air. Jessica, wait! She doesn't wait. Dagger comes down on Evelyn's neck several times, spraying a stream of dark blood all around her. Evelyn keeps her gaze on me, a still sad look on her bloody face. As if she felt no pain, only sadness in reaction to my gesture. As if holding her close to me was more meaningful than having a sharp dagger. Jugular. Gyepi. With a last breath, Evelyn speaks my name before collapsing to the floor. Spell. My horrified screams just... Evelyn. I stare with dazed eyes at Evelyn's inert body as she completely bleeds to death. She tried to tell me something. Jessica brings me back to reality with force. Gyepi, hurry up! We'll have to destroy her medallion. Around us, the other students start to get agitated. She's dead! You killed her! It's a miracle! It's over? It's really over? Try to open the door. Are you crazy? Do you want to burn to death? She's dead, we're safe now. You better go ahead then, I'm not taking the risk. Move over and open the door. Voices of the survivors gradually rise in intensity as they move towards the door. Other than Jessica and I, there is no one left on the side of the room. No one else seems to care about Evelyn. Jessica grabs the medallion, which still glows with an almost palpable bluish energy, exactly like the last time. I can get it off her neck. What? Let me try. No matter how hard I pull, the medallion refuses to go over Evelyn's bloody neck. That would mean that this medallion really has a magical power? Never mind, we'll hold it in place on her chest and destroy it. I feel like I'm totally clueless. A torrent of conflicting emotions is stirring inside me. Gyepi, wake up! Try to hold it in place. I'm going to stab it with a dagger. Okay. With trembling hands, I pull the chain so as to immobilize the medallion on Evelyn's body. On 3. 1, 2... Jessica brings the dagger down on the medallion with deadly precision. A sound of shattering glass accompanies the impact and the bluish glow disappears completely. My body freezes in anticipation of a surge of magical energy, leaping from the medallion and evading the entire room. Nothing comes. A triumphant clamor tells me that someone has finally volunteered to open the door successfully. Get out! I want out! Let me through, please! Jessica sits on the floor, exhausted. Is it over? I nod, my eyes locked on Evelyn's blood-covered face. I don't see a blue glow anymore. With tears in her eyes, Jessica runs a hand through her hair. We did it. Yeah, I sure feel like it. I straighten up and extend my hand to Jessica to help her up. Come on, let's get out of here. There's no point in staying any longer. Jessica grabs my hand and follows me. I look back one last time at Evelyn's lifeless body. There's not a trace of magic left this time. Nothing but dead flesh. Evelyn, Emma, Dan, the twins. I don't know if we can really say we won. We survived, sure, but as far as who won, look around the completely empty and silent room. No omnipresent corpses and blood mark the advent of the reign of death. The only winner. I suppress another bout of nausea and clasp Jessica's hand in mine. Let's go. Jessica, her face still pale, nods and follows me without a word. The moment of crossing the threshold of the door, a shiver of anguish seizes me. It is here that Evelyn's voice had resounded in my head, at the end of the first loop. Are you satisfied with this conclusion? Are you okay? I pause and take a step forward, my body contracting. Nothing. No voice out of nowhere, no residual magic, no evil laughter. Just the sweat oozing from my forehead and the dried blood on my right arm, and the smell of death flooding our room. This time, it's over for good. Without another glance, I drag Jessica outside. Freedom. The sky greets us with a disarming nonchalance, as if the outside world never acknowledged the horror we experienced. Most of the students have already left the school, probably returning to their loved ones to celebrate their survival. A few students in tears are sitting on the surrounding lawn, probably too shocked to go home right away. Nightmare, leave no one unscratched. Neither the dead nor the living. I turn to Jessica, her face still very pale. I suddenly realize that she still is holding my hand. About now, are we saved? I look up at the bright blue sky. I heard Evelyn's voice after she died, and the sky suddenly changed color, and I pause, watching for any sign that Evelyn might be back. Apart from the chirping of curfew birds, no particular sound reaches me. The sky remains blue, and the sun continues to warm my sweat socket clothes. I think it's really over. So I still don't understand why Evelyn. The last words hang in the air as I meet Jessica's eyes again. The tears gently trickle down her wet cheeks. Jessica, it's over. Jessica nods, her beautiful eyes locked on me. What? Most naturally, our lips come together and we kiss passionately. Hold one pretty quickly, main character. I feel nothing but a compulsive urge to hold her close to me, her with all my might. Jessica also holds me close, her muscles tight. I open my eyes and see that tears are still rolling down her eyes. I don't know if we really feel love for each other, or simply overcome by a wave of irrepressible happiness following the immense relief of having survived. Our will to live was stronger than Evelyn, stronger than death. There's no disrespect to Emma's memory, or to all the unfortunate people who have passed away. We're simply satisfying a primitive need for human warmth, contact. In other words, we are using all our senses to confirm that we are alive. After a long embrace, I gently run my hand through Jessica's amber hair and pull away from her lightly. Jessica shakes her head. Thank you, Gyepi, I needed this, terribly needed it. I smile softly at her. Yes, so did I. Yes. I can find the words to express the torrent of emotion that runs through me. Neither can Jessica, it seems. Our two foreheads, glued together, were crossed by a small nervous laugh punctuated by some tears. Then sadness moved together like two lovers that everything opposes. I kiss her again, then raise my eyes to the sky. A slight shiver comes over me when I hear the whisper of the wind reaching my ears, but I don't hear any voice or grow louder. Nothing but the usual lament of the breeze that slightly softens the feeling of warmth from the sun. The sun slowly begins its daily decline, which will last until dusk. Clock is ticking again. The loop has ended. I feel Jessica's hands gently caress my face. About all the dead, Emma, then everyone. I look down at Jessica and hold her a little closer to me. Jessica, I have absolutely no idea how to grieve for Emma, for Dan, for all the people who died for nothing. I will probably be haunted by the memory of that nightmare for the rest of my life. It's a trauma that will probably never heal, but that doesn't mean it can be appeased through time, through feelings, through the power of life. Jessica nods silently, aware that she is also doomed to live, bearing the weight of this terrifying memory. So over the next few days, I'd like for us to stay together, if that's okay with you. Breathe, and try to move on together. Jessica offers me a shy smile. Despite the furrows made by the tears, she's more beautiful. Stay together, Gyepi. I raise my gaze to the sky again. I don't know how long it will take me to grieve. I don't even know if I'll be able to rely on. But with Jessica, I'm less anxious about going into her nights without I have someone there for me during the inevitable night terrors that will afflict me. There myself to calm her own terrors, but simply be together. Thank you, Gyepi. Jessica, I will take care of you, I promise. Jessica pulls herself up on her toes and embraces me again with a tender kiss. I welcome the touch of her strangely raspy lips as if... No! I immediately push Jessica's putrefied body away. No! Jessica looks at me anxious. It's me, Jessica, it's over, we're safe. I point a trembling finger in her direction. Jessica, no, your body is... No! I point my temples with both fists as if to alter my perception of reality. Greater to leave the nightmare and finally return to reality. No, why? We had made it! Jessica moves closer to me and tries to gently take my arm. Baby, don't worry, it's over, I promise. I I pushed Jessica away with a compulsive gesture. Her putrefaction is... No, please. No. Jessica's inhumanly ravaged face burst into tears. Hey, please! Evelyn is dead. I should avoid that kind of peremptory statement. I turned my head to the melodious voice I know all too well, that playful, honeyed, and all at once cruel voice. Evelyn stands a few feet away from us, perfectly unharmed. Her body, her clothes, her face. There is no indication that she was stabbed to death, as no manner before. I stared at her medallion, untouched. You were dead. Dead, that's impossible. Evelyn waves her left hand in a nonchalant gesture, as if swatting away an unwelcome fly. Jessica's body immediately freezes and collapses in itself. Just like then, as if nature had just claimed its rights over the dead flesh for far too long. I stare distraughtingly at Jessica's disjointed body as it lies on the ground. Jessica, she was... Evelyn stares at me in amazement. What exactly did you expect? Of course she's dead. Lifting a torch to vomit, I straighten up in a direction. How? We destroyed your medallion. A more magic glow emanates from the medallion, whose surface reflects the sunlight as Evelyn moves. This old trinket? Oh no, you didn't think it was the source of my power, did you? Evelyn gives me a particularly condescending look. Hey, Gyepi, it was just a little charm, nothing more. It's like the color. Oh, please, no. I start to cry frankly. I can't take it anymore. It's too much for me. Way too much for my fragile psychological. Evelyn approaches me, puts a hand on my arm in a surprisingly gentle gesture. Gyepi, when you held me... Cheeks turned pink again. The last expression I would expect from her. Was it just to divert my attention, or did you also want to... Ah! Evelyn freezes as an inhuman scream comes out of my chest. I fall to my knees and hit my temples with both fists. Stop! Stop! I can't take this hell anymore! Kill me! I want it to stop now! Evelyn is now looking at me with a sad look for some odd reason that I can't understand. A reason that I don't care about. I don't care anymore. I just want it to stop. I just want it all to stop. I just want to join Dan and the others. Join them and fall asleep next to them. She look at me. I wrap both hands around my skull and bury my face in my folded arms, my knees still on the ground. To die. I just want to die and join the others. Evelyn kneels beside me and gently places her hand on my shoulder. You really don't remember anything. Remember the dead, the suffering, the terror. That's more than enough for me. You won everything. We're in hell and you won, so kill me now. I am... Gyepi, do you... Kill me now, kill me! Evelyn flinches away as if I had beaten her. Her eyes became even sadder and she addresses me in a tone of sorrow. Do you wish to remember? I raise feverish eyes to Evelyn. Remember? Remember what? The smell of the dead, your sadistic laughter. Your face distorted by cruelty every time you slaughtered one of us. Remember what exactly? Remember what? Evelyn looks away. Answer me, do you wish to remember? The blood drums in my skull. I can't concentrate on anything. Remember, I don't understand. No, Evelyn, her behavior is totally different since I took her in my arms. Not the same at all. As if there was a reason for this whole nightmare. I want to know, I want to understand. Why? Why did you do all this, Evelyn? Evelyn stares at me silently, tears in her eyes. Tell me why. My voice breaks into sobs. Please tell me, why? Evelyn sighs heavily, closes her eyes, placing her hand on my skull. Okay. Misty white veil invades my field of vision. I can no longer see anything about Evelyn. I can no longer feel anything but the warmth of her palm. My other senses are completely numb, fatigued. I feel as if I am wrapped in a thick white coat that brings me warmth and comfort. Evelyn's lips move gently, but I don't hear anything. Slowly, my eyelids close. I feel incredibly tired. With my eyes closed and my mind begins to wander as I gradually lose consciousness. I think that... Oh. It was in our school. Please, Gyepi, trust me, you don't want to remember. I don't think I have the strength to do this, remember. Gyepi, please, I don't want to remember. And I'm gonna stop this right here. I'll continue it this evening. If like Evelyn was a past girl who had a crush on us. Like that happened to her. So stopping the stream here, cinnamon buns. Gonna resume this evening. So. I hope you enjoyed the game so far. My throat is aching, this is why I'm stopping. Even though I was drinking water, it does hurt a bit. Because my throat is sore due to speak. Reading aloud so much. Thank you for the hydrate. But we're gonna definitely continue in this evening. Doing something sweet. Okay, I will. Enough. Whom are we gonna read once? So it looks like I'm missing a single follower. We're gonna reach all of 100 followers. I'm like super happy about it. Wait until that's rolling. So it seems like this VTuber is singing again. We once rated her already. Stella, I hope I did read that properly. We are currently hosting a donathon. They've been streaming for 7 whole hours, goodness. They're singing karaoke, so let's rate them. I really like their singing streams. So, cinnamon buns. Here we are for the raid. It's the usual message to spam away. And let's go, let's start the raid. Thank you kindly for accompanying me during my stream once again. It was very nice to have you around, and we're gonna see each other this evening around 7 PM Central European Time or 8 PM approximately. Bye bye!